Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sundari Broadcast System. Today we are talking about the season finale of Obi-Wan, and that was something else entirely. But let's get introductions out of the way. I am your main host, Charlie, and with me I have Shane. We have Jordan back. He's been gone for a while, and then we have Dom.
Kenobi. I'm not doing the scream.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Please
Sorry to
don't.
disappoint people, but I'm not going to. I need my voice.
You
Yeah.
better not.
Don't do that.
No!
See, I'm leaving. Bye.
No!
All right, so like we've done the past few episodes, let's just get our overall thoughts out of the way. Like what were our thoughts on the episode, and then we'll kind of break it down and go into different aspects of the episode. Let's start with Jordan, since he's returning for the first time in weeks. What were your thoughts on the season finale?
Solid 30 out of 10.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Great.
30 out of 10. It was everything I could have wanted at the end of a season ever. The fight scene with Obi-Wan and Vader was just top tier. That's all I can say, really.
All right, Shane, what are your thoughts?
I have to agree, Jordan. This episode is like beyond a 30 out of 10. The episode was like one of like some of the best Star Wars content we've got. Like that Obi-Wan Kenobi fight versus Vader was absolutely beautiful. Then going like along with overall, like everything about this episode is what I wanted for finale and how this show to end, and the cameos that we got in the end, like were just basically the cherry on top to this overall wonderful and amazing show. But I think my only question is actually just like processing the show is how did Reva get to Tatooine, and how did she find out about Luke? That's all. That's the only question.
On
get
the
to that later.
ship. Why is that the question you
We'll
have?
get into that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Dom, what are your overall thoughts?
It was good not to know. Okay. First off, I'll just say I think it did A New Hope justice because being A New Hope being the first Star Wars movie, seeing what was literally happening like within a recent year's time before that, and showing with that much huge of a time gap, I think it's worth watching A New Hope right after watching that finale, and it shows the importance of an actual strength of some characters that you wouldn't even think would actually handle in their own. I'm talking about Owen and Beru.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much more respect for them.
Yeah.
So my thoughts is just chef's kiss. This is what I was like. It's hard for me to find the words, but it was just perfect. Like I can't think of anything that could have made that episode better. If there were like maybe one piece of dialogue that would have just been thrown in as like a joke, just to get some laughs out of the audience, but it was just chef's kiss.
It was.
So let's start breaking down like some of the points and all this other stuff. What are y'all thinking? What do y'all want to talk about first? We have our notes here on the side, but what do we want to talk about?
I'm right there. Oh, for you, you're like right there for me. Okay.
You're down there.
Okay.
For me.
Okay. I think just throw this right off the bat, I really want to talk about those parallels in this episode, just the overall parallels in this episode, and I think that's what is like. I think that's what I love about this episode so much is that it's giving praise to the other content that has also came before it, and it was great. So like, I will do what I must, like calling back to Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan like had to go face Vader, like he had to go face Anakin. He's doing the same thing again. He has to face Vader. He wants to end this, and it kind of ending the same way where he can't do it. He knows he just can't do it. He can't bring himself to kill his brother, like he can't finish the job. And that like those two parallels, and then like the parallels between Rebels in this episode, like just kiss. How about you, Jordan? What do you think about that?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, it was a good episode. Like I said before, I it takes forever for me to process things that happen in the show because I watch them after getting beat up by children all day for 10 hours a day. So I'm kind of watching it like, okay. Um, but it was amazing. I mean, we were talking about parallels. The parallel, like when he, breaks his helmet, but on the opposite side of when Ahsoka broke his helmet when they fought. Technically, this fight happens before. If you think about the order, the continuity, Obi-Wan did it first, but like Ahsoka did it better because Ahsoka's that bitch. But that was my favorite parallel in the fight scene. Before we recorded, I forgot which one of you said it, but you're like, I don't. Okay, I'm done with them interacting. I don't want them to meet up again until A New Hope, and I have to agree because one of my gripes with the show was, well, before we saw the show, I was like, I don't want them to fight because in A New Hope, it was like their first time seeing each other in 20 years. Vader's kids are like right there watching them, and then Obi-Wan has this big sacrifice. But this show managed to pull it off. They fought twice and managed to pull it off. But I bet not see a third time. I
have to. I'll go.
For parallels.
Yeah.
I am going. Yeah, I also am going to agree with what everyone is saying. I don't think that there should be, as much as we would love to see it, it'd be fun. But like the talk of a Vader spin-off when there's literally like already comics on Vader.
Yeah,
that is true. But there's also, but anyway, like that's a wonderful last meeting between the two before meeting up for A New Hope. It does make a whole lot more sense because with that interaction of that like parallel and not like discourse and confrontation between Anakin trying to like deny the fact that he is Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. Because throughout the years, Anakin Skywalker is still there.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to pull off he's trying to claim a Jekyll and Hyde situation when it's just like
words.
Theater kids will know what I mean. Oh, we just lost Jordan.
Oh no,
he got so bored that he left.
I mean, Charlie, do you want to go before I take off like what Dom said?
I don't really have anything to add right now because all the thoughts that you guys are giving and noticing are the same for me. So I don't really want to beat a dead bantha. So
my computer said no podcast. And I was like, yes, you are not in charge here.
But okay, going back to like what I had said before the podcast and what Jordan brought up is, yeah, this was the perfect way to one kind of have these two fight, and how it ended was perfect. Like that, I don't want to see an interaction between those two again. Like again with them like fighting or even seeing each other again because it ended perfectly. Because it gives one the closure for Obi-Wan. We'll get into that later, and how it just basically it like explains how Obi-Wan sees Darth Vader and Anakin. Like he definitely perceives that these are two different people. These are not the same people. And I think like Ahsoka is like the same way. Like, you're not my master, you're someone else, But then like also going off with Jordan said earlier as well is that Obi-Wan broke the mask technically first. He broke the right side, I believe so.
Left
side. Vader's left.
Ahsoka broke Vader's right.
Yeah, Vader's right. And I love a post on TikTok. I know I posted it on the story. Is I love how the master broke the right, the apprentice broke the left, and the son removed the mask. and basically it was bringing out the light in Anakin. All three, no matter what, brought out the light in Anakin. And Vader, Obi-Wan did it a little bit. Like you got to see like Anakin. Hearing Anakin's voice kind of showed that Anakin was still in there in a sense. Like he is still in there, and Obi-Wan is bringing that out. Like breaking that mask and hearing Anakin's voice proves that Anakin's still in there. It's not just Darth Vader. And then obviously with the Mad Lantern and like him saying Ahsoka, not the apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, bring out Anakin, and then obviously Luke doing the final deal for the mask, removing it.
It's very, I really like that scene a lot because of, I don't know why I'm just obsessing about the like bringing out the fact that Vader's voice is literally just a modulator, not just literally another persona, which Anakin is literally talking as himself, but coming out is just an intimidating voice modulator. On this old British man, not even British, English, whatever. How intimidating! James Arnold Taylor.
James Earl Jones.
Did I say James Arnold Taylor? I meant James Earl Jones.
Did you say James Arnold Taylor?
Yes, I did.
It's James Earl Jones.
My mind.
When it's Vader talking with the full helmet, it's James Earl Jones. But whenever the mask was damaged, it was actually Hayden giving the lines, and that's why you got Anakin coming through.
Yeah,
mixing with the modulator as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that gets me going. That's the thing that I get excited over.
So one thing that I want to talk about, I actually didn't find this out until like 20 minutes before we came here, is there is a reason that Owen and Aunt Beru have the weapons they do.
Because Beru Lars is about that life. That's why they got the weapons.
Yes and no. So the reason is Beru, before she was Beru Lars, she was Beru White Suns. And the White Suns is a organization on Tatooine that is working to free all of the slaves on Tatooine.
Oh.
So obviously that would lead to conflict with the crime lords that run Tatooine. That's why she had the blaster and why she's so good with it. Is it's not her first rodeo. But also it makes sense, them being so far out into the Dune Sea, that they have weapons to fend off Tusken Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay, am I the only one that thought those were slug throwers for a minute before they shot before they started shooting?
It wouldn't make sense really for them to have slug throwers, because by that point slug throwers were hella obsolete, and trying to get like ammunition for them would be hard. You'd have to more or less make your own, and that's why Tuskens have them. They live off the land. They're very resourceful. So them creating ammunition for the slug throwers isn't a stretch. But blasters a lot more common. It's a lot easier to come by ammunition for it. Gas packs and energy packs and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. So much easier for just your everyday galactic citizen to get a blaster as opposed to a slug thrower.
Okay.
And one thing that I'm thinking it was Jordan brought up was how did Reva get to Tatooine? How did she know about Luke? We see in episode 5 that she saw Obi-Wan's holocom link damaged, and it was Senator Bail Organa talking about how if he hadn't heard back from Obi-Wan, he was going to more or less assume the worst and head to Tatooine and meet with Owen and find the boy and look over the boy. And it was just those snippets that got through that Reva was able to put together Owen. She met an Owen and then used her creative thinking to track him down on Tatooine once she got back.
Okay.
How she got back, she probably just stole a shuttle
Just the ship. It's not. I mean, it's not something
yeah,
we got.
yeah.
It's not. You know, got spend 50 hours thinking about it.
Okay,
It's a galaxy. The
true.
ship. There's 50
True.
ships on each planet.
And think
True.
about it. They
I
did not
agree.
have a hyperdrive. Her ship probably did.
Here,
Most
just
likely.
okay. Going off what Charlie you just said right now, I think I can agree of like being a very smart thinker, but not a lot of context clues were given to link it. Darth Vader equals this kid's son.
Yeah,
they
but
didn't say it either. They didn't.
Yeah.
That is true. I'll give you that. That is true.
all Reva knew was this kid was important enough for a whole Imperial senator to still be contacting Obi-Wan over, because he was like, oh, because what she was probably thinking was, I spent all this time trying to kidnap this little girl, but some random little boy on Tatooine is important too. Oh, and Lars, he just lied to me. I'm gonna go back and fuck his farm up.
It was very. You could also recognize throughout that whole episode too, where she's chasing Luke, and that is the exact same spot where Obi-Wan meets Luke in A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
That it's he's knocked out. Yeah, he gets knocked out. He's approached by this random person in a hood and stuff.
Amazing.
All right, so let's get to the meat and potatoes. What everybody wants us to talk about.
Oh yeah,
the fight.
What an what? Oh my gosh, I am. That is such a good fight. It's
Bye, Shane.
I'm just clearing the queue so we don't have just a random icon sitting on here. When he comes back, I will put him back. But that fight. Where to start?
I like to start with this. It's a lot. It's kind of good seeing like a more broad stance for Vader. Like you don't see him with his lightsaber out like this a lot in live action. Like you can see,
No.
Because
in live action, like taking out like Episode 3 and A New Hope, we only see him on screen once, and that was against Rebel soldiers on the Tantive, going on to the Tantive 4, and he was just one-handing that shit, just do, not even breaking a sweat.
Nope.
To see him actually kind of push and be like, okay, I actually need to take this seriously. Let me take a stance.
Actually, more you like showing more. Yeah, not showing that he's a machine. I like to think that like it's taking seriously shows that it's more his Anakin side in a way, because I wanted to see, because I wanted to look back at the fight and see if I could spot like other parallels from Revenge of the Sith in their fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was not. I'm cutting out. I don't know. Not the Obi-Wan spin, because
We did see that.
I did see it. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very. I got very happy.
But it was only on Obi-Wan's side, because I don't think Vader can move like that.
No, he can't. Reva did, but I could see that she was having trouble doing it with the freaking not the cross guard, double blade.
And he's back.
No, I'm not.
But the thing I want to talk about that like is the thing that I said like would have made like the episode better, but it would have been just thrown in for like comedic value, is if when Vader dropped Obi-Wan in the pit, if he would have been like, "It's over, Obi-Wan. I have the high ground." That would have that would have made it a lot better, but it would have just been for comedic value, honestly.
Instead of
It would have been for like taunting purposes.
Yeah,
Like
and-
Yeah.
yeah. And,
What was it good without it? Yes.
Oh yeah.
But I still think it could have been like mwah, just chef's kiss even better.
to just make sure we are talking about the entire fight, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Can I chime in now? If someone
No.
wants to go.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Oh well, not okay. Okay, but that fight, just if agreeing with you, Charlie, that would have been really funny if he goes like, "Look who has the high ground now," you know.
Look who has the high ground now.
Like that would have been really good. But that the fight overall just was like really good, and like it really shows it really like just that fight alone also shows us how like Kenobi in a sense has grown. He went from I can't do anything anymore. I don't want to even like help you, Bale, and help you with your kid, to like I'm going to face Vader again. Like he went from like kind of not wanting to like scared, worried about like all of that to I'm going to face you now. I will do what must be done. And it was just amazing. This fight was honestly amazing, and I love how Obi-Wan in a sense also fights like Anakin. And you guys like how he twirls his blade. It was just like that's Anakin, and like it makes sense because those two train for each other with like hours upon hours together, you know. And this fight just had I think was everything I wanted from these two to go at it, and especially like it updated, like it reminded me of like Scene Imagined, like yeah, it was just overall amazing. Like this fight was just great. Like Obi-Wan basically becoming Space Jesus and doing like the Rock.
Literally have a space,
like Space Jesus,
just like lifting up the high ground.
Yeah, dude, that was okay.
Lifting
When I
up
saw
the
that,
ground.
I have the ground.
The ground is high.
like him doing that, I was like at 12 o'clock at night watching this episode. I was freaking out. I was like, "Oh my god, Kenobi's being a badass."
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was the like the duel? Not Duel of the Fates choir, but the choir during Obi-Wan and Anakin's fight in Revenge of the Sith. Was the choir play like singing along as he was lifting the freaking thing?
The choir. Yeah, there's a little bit of choir there.
I think yes. I
can't answer that question for you because I don't know actually.
I can't remember.
You know,
I'll have to rewatch it.
I rewatched the episode like Friday, ish I think. And it was I don't remember that part, but him just like throwing rock after Vader. I'll give Vader this. He took it. I mean,
he did take it.
He did take it. Like I don't know how many rocks he just took. He took a lot of rocks to like he was like, you throw me in the ground, you can have the ground type deal. Like Obi-Wan was like, that was just like, and I also
to be fair. Wait, no, you finished first.
Yeah. Just to end off my little spiel before I let Dom go, like I love how Obi-Wan gets back up. I know he's hearing Anakin and Vader at first, and it's like making him struggle. But then to think about the kids and like the future, that's what got him out was just like great. And then like going back to A New Hope real quick, Obi-Wan sees those kids reunite for the first time again.
Yeah. To be fair, throwing the ground right back at Vader, it's kind of more in revenge because Vader did it first. Can we also talk about that literally like that force repulse into the ground?
Oh, that was great
from Vader.
Yes, it was great. But like still talking about just Obi-Wan throwing the ground back at Vader. It was like, oh, you buried me? No, you. Uno reverse card. Like, I will be surprised if I don't, in like a week or so, see an edit of Obi-Wan coming out of the ground and holding an Uno reverse card.
Just not today.
I could just see like when he pushes the ground, just puts like, I am the king and you're just the pawn. Who's got the high ground now, Obi-Wan?
Yeah, that's gonna become a meme. I think it's already. Someone already did that. Someone already did that. I think I already watched a TikTok video. Someone already doing like, who's got the high ground? No, Obi-Wan, and just him doing that. But like that was a dope ass force move.
That is. What's another?
You playing with a lightsaber? I can play with my lightsaber, Young Slayer 9000.
Stop.
It's buried.
It's sand.
So let's talk about the just the visual effects that portray Anakin moving from Anakin to Vader.
Okay, I will point out one
That
thing.
whole conversation.
I will point out one thing. Not talking about the lighting or the visual effects real quick. The smile was fucking creepy.
Oh, it
Sorry to
was.
curse, but my God.
Dude,
I got unpleasant there for a second.
But
I was
Hello?
like,
like something I want off that conversation that they had when Ben tells Luke 9 years later that Darth Vader killed his father, he wasn't lying.
He wasn't.
And we see that now. We see that so much more now because we have like Vader himself saying, "I killed Anakin Skywalker." Twice. He says it twice.
Twice.
he says it twice. He
But
said
like when those movies were coming out, and even after we got the prequels, it was still like, no, he didn't kill him. But then we see now we see it like actually fleshed out that they are, while they may inhabit the same body, they are two separate people.
I just like, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
Yeah, it's like I said before. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde. It's like one tries to
Like
kill another. It's the same person, but two different like
Personalities.
two different beings.
Even backing off that, Charlie, it's also the closure Obi-Wan needs.
Very much so.
Because he blamed, like, you can tell, Vader / Anakin kind of karmas himself by saying, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did." That was like what was holding Obi-Wan back, and like now to hear that from him is like, okay, my friend is my friend. I would like, my friend, my brother is truly dead. Like, I will accept that.
Can we also point out the fact, like when Obi-Wan first cuts the mask open, you see that it's Vader's eye is blue for one shot in this scene.
And it wasn't the lighting. It wasn't the lighting thing.
It wasn't the lighting. It was his actual color, like blue colored eyes. But then you see, I also saw this too. There's a tear, sheds a tear as his eye is blue, and then when it shoots back to Vader, it's yellow. It's the Sith yellow.
It's just like, you can tell, like, when he, like, Anakin's gone, I am what remains. Like, that's not Vader. That's Anakin saying that. Like, Anakin is like, just going back to Revenge of the Sith, like, when Anakin reached out basically to Obi-Wan, like, in a sense, like, help me when he's burning, like, like, that is like Anakin kind of like telling him, like, you, like, in a sense, like, yeah, I'm gone, but like,
I want to talk about that for just a minute. That scene in Revenge of the Sith, while Anakin was laying on the ground burning, and he was saying, "I hate you," but his body was literally reaching for Obi-Wan in like a help me kind of way. I see that is Vader is the one speaking. Anakin is the one with the body trying to get help. Because again, while they are the same person, they are two separate personalities entirely.
It's one of the reasons why Obi-Wan calls him Darth. Like, that's his first name, not Anakin, not Vader. Darth is his first name. Like, his title is his first
He's calling him by his title.
He's calling him by his title, and that's like interesting. Like, he doesn't want to call him Vader, he doesn't want to call him Anakin, so he'll make the middle ground.
And like every time that they're talking during that fight, and it's like after the helmet's damaged, when it's Anakin talking, you can clearly hear it's like the modulator, the vocalizer is damaged and it's kind of squeaking in and out, but you hear Hayden's voice a lot more, symbolizing that's Anakin talking. But then as it progresses through, you start to hear more of James Earl Jones talking when the when the vocalizer is starting to kind of work a little bit more.
Even when Hayden's also talking, like he's like, "You didn't kill Anakin." Like as it like goes back and forth right there between James Earl Jones and Hayden, you can even tell Hayden is using a different voice for Anakin. Like that is Vader. Like I did. Like him like doing like the like kind of like his I did was like not Anakin's voice, more like in a quote unquote Vader voice. Like I killed him.
His speech patterns.
And then like how he is like basically like limping over to Obi-Wan, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like he's like limping. He's like limping over. He is based like you can hear like the same way I will destroy you. Like that's James Earl Jones, like clearly right there. Just
and the scream of Obi-Wan, you hear Vader and Anakin yell at the same time, which
very unnerving.
Very like we've heard that happen before on Rebels, but I don't think anyone points that out a lot. Everyone just focuses on Matt Lerner's voice. Is that his voice?
I believe so.
Focus on Matt Lerner's voice through like the damaged modulator.
They didn't have two separate actors being the voice of one character.
No.
So hearing two people speak for one person
in Rebels.
I think he did for us when he said Ahsoka.
Yeah, that was James Earl and Matt Lanter together. They both, they both recorded.
I did not know that.
I didn't know at first. I kept the more I listened to it on my little sound font, literally my NeoPixel sound font on my white lightsaber, I could hear a little bit of James Earl Jones. I finally said
they both recorded those lines, and Dave went and mixed it all up.
Dave works his magic.
Yeah, as Dave does.
Yeah, that's it's both of them.
Yeah. I have to go. But
hey, Jordan.
Hi, Jordan.
I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna leave. Third Sister Supremacy.
Yeah.
Reva Supremacy.
Reva Supremacy.
That's all I have to say about that.
Anakin killing kids.
No. No.
She almost tried to.
Which proves she's better than him.
True. Yes. Yep.
Better than who?
No, like when Reva doesn't kill Luke, it proves that she's better than Anakin.
Or Vader. No, Anakin.
Exactly. All right.
Same person.
Bye.
Thanks for coming on.
Is it weird that I don't know how you guys feel about this real quick. Is it weird that Anakin doesn't have Sith yellow eyes when he's in the Jedi Temple killing all the Jedi, including younglings?
That's the only Sith yellow appears when he's on Mustafar killing.
I think it's so. Someone's talked about that. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it a few times. Is he's just like when he's at the temple. While he is going through and killing everybody, he is just. I'll say he's on autopilot at that point. He's still at his core for the most part. Anakin. He's trying to do what he thinks is right in order to save Padme, but it's after he wipes out the Separatists on Mustafar, and he has a moment to reflect on what he just did.
Sorry.
That's when we see his eyes change, because all of those emotions, just the moment you have a break, will come flooding in. Because I'm not speaking for the military on this, because everybody in the military is different. But a lot of people will emotionally disconnect themselves while in combat. And that allows them to do things that a lot of people are like, how could you do that and still remain who you are? Like, I know Chris Kyle, the late great Chris Kyle, he had to shoot a kid and a woman, but he kept his composure during the mission because he had a mission. That's what he did. After the mission, he broke down, and because he had that minute to kind of look back on everything. But he had emotionally disconnected himself during the mission because the mission came first. The lives of the Marines on the street came first. And like that's how I see it with Anakin is like he just disconnected himself while he was killing the Jedi, killing the Separatists. And it was afterwards when he finally had a moment, he thought he was done, that all the emotions kind of flooded in and took over.
Well, I think I love that entire point, Charlie. I think how I originally perceived it as, like, and don't want to bring it up, even though I brought it up. I think originally how I perceived it was, it's that this is, in a sense, this is Vader went out, and the reason why Anakin doesn't have his Sith yellow eyes in the temple is because it is the transfer of Anakin to Vader, and Vader is doing it. Vader's the one doing it. Anakin is the one kind of, as you said, like sitting back, doing like basically going autopilot mode and doing the mission. That is Anakin, but Vader is the one killing his young Sith, and like he is building up to his Sith yellow eyes. So when he finally turns back and looks at the camera of his Sith yellow eyes, he's finally reached that point in a sense. That's how I always perceived it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going back to the episode, I was thinking about this, and it's not a talking point, but just a quick one. Would you have preferred if Obi-Wan, in a sense, used Anakin's like Episode 3 lightsaber against him? It would have been really hard because obviously he takes his lightsaber, but like if there's an alternate event and he takes Anakin instead, would you have like in a sense preferred that?
No.
No, because
Dom, do you have your thoughts together, or do you need a minute?
You could correct me on this, but because I know that there is comics focused around Obi-Wan now, because I saw that he was matching an outfit from one of the comics when meeting up with Owen. I am not aware that he used Anakin's lightsaber in those comics, but I know that Obi-Wan did at one point.
And for me, the reason why I say no, I wouldn't think it'd be better for him to use Anakin's saber against him, is because it's not Anakin fighting Vader. It's Obi-Wan fighting Vader. And Obi-Wan using his own lightsaber, it's just, that is everything that Anakin remembers, Vader remembers him to be, because he has gotten his strength back. It would just be, to me, it wouldn't feel right unless something had happened to Obi-Wan's saber. Let's say during the escape from Jabim, he drops his saber or something, and then he has to get Anakin's saber and use it. That would make sense, but him choosing to go into battle with it when he still has his, to me, doesn't it seems like it'd be more of a battle of personalities at that point. It'd be Obi-Wan trying to emulate Anakin fighting Vader, and that'd be like emulating like the light side of Anakin, who he was versus who he became, as opposed to Obi-Wan being his master, his former master, his past, and then who he has become as Vader fighting each other. And Vader trying to kill the past.
Yeah, and plus, I think from what we know, Obi-Wan only grabbed his lightsaber. He buried both of them together with Anakin's, but all we know is that he grabbed his. So I don't think he was wearing his.
Obi-Wan on Tatooine, revenge Anakin. Your lightsaber's insane now.
Who also thought? I want to go back a bit on. I'm sorry to go back a bit forward a bit within the episode. Like after defeating Vader, I'm gonna call that, and settling his, coming to peace with his past, with the guilt, going back to when he gets to Tatooine and Reva comes by carrying unconscious Luke, and then Obi-Wan and Reva are having their conversation. I thought that she was going to just get this.
I thought that too. I honestly thought she was about to be like, I'm ashamed of my, and just go. And to be honest, and I sometimes I have to agree with some people. I think I would have liked if Reva died at the end of the series.
I was honestly thinking that she would. Like, I was thinking, like, while she was chasing after Luke in the canyon, that Owen just comes running and it's just BAM! And just drops her.
Like how he did them
But
all.
at the end of the day, it wouldn't have done her character justice
No.
for her to die, because she needed that confirmation, especially from Obi-Wan, that she is better than Vader, because she couldn't do what Vader did. But by surviving and realizing her mistakes, she let the Padawans that died with her find peace.
Here's also a thing that I would say. I would say to that situation. It is Reva, but the one who's dying is the third sister.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
It's basic a Yeah, I think the point is just like she is not she is not Vader. Meaning that she's better, because Anakin, if Anakin were in her shoes, he would have let go of Vader. She's letting go of the third sister. She's not become. She doesn't become like Vader. She's like it's a total. I'm trying to word this correctly, and I just thought of this now. I'll
We'll come back to that later.
I'll go more in depth with it later, and then when I'm back, when I have time,
we get that.
I can talk about it later.
Okay, so there's one scene I want to move to the next time point. There's one scene that I really want to talk about, and it's not just about the cameo of the scene. It's about the kind of meaning in the scene. And it's not who you're talking about. I'm talking about Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine, Ian McDiarmid coming back. That was one great. I mean, I thought we might have gotten Ian McDiarmid Palpatine in this show, but just to see it still surprised me, because I love that man. You guys know how much I love that. Like, okay,
that was like he's aged with the makeup.
He has but here's the thing that I want to talk about, and here's the reason why now it all makes sense why Vader doesn't keep hunting Obi-Wan until obviously he has to let him go, and up till A New Hope they see each other, you know. If a season 2 ever happened, I don't think you can have Vader hunt Obi-Wan because of this scene now. Because Palpatine, what he says directly is I'm wondering if you're are you fully are your emotions out of your way? Are you thinking clearly about this? Because if you cannot overcome your past and you let your emotions get the best of you, then then is that Anakin is still in there, in a sense, because you care only about Kenobi and your old master. And Vader basically acknowledging Kenobi means nothing to me, is basically saying oh fuck, he is going to kill me, Palpatine is going to throw me aside if I keep going only after Kenobi, because how the Grand Inquisitor said it, we have the rebels right in front of us. One Jedi is not worth all these rebels that have been helping other Jedi and could lead us to where these other Jedi are hiding,
And I completely understand where the Grand Inquisitor is coming from, but at the same time, I understand where Vader's coming from. Not just from an emotional and past point of view, but from a tactical standpoint. You let Obi-Wan live. So let's say Shane, you're at the helm of that Star Destroyer. You're going after these fleeing Force sensitives, and you decide to just keep going after them, but Obi-Wan gets away. And he decides, I'm going to raise a rebellion to fight. You now have one of the poster boys of the Clone Wars, one of the heroes of the Republic, starting a rebellion. That is going to cause more and more and more and more and more people to flock to the rebellion.
Yeah, and obviously, I can agree with you on that, Stan. But obviously, we know from a position, Vader's not thinking tactically; he is thinking off emotion. So when Palpatine obviously states, because Palpatine is really is one of the most powerful Force users alongside Vader right now. He just manipulated Vader into thinking he was weaker than him, when in fact not. That was not the case. Vader was more powerful than Palpatine, but he just manipulated him. Palpatine can somewhat feel Anakin / Vader's emotions on Mustafar right now, in a sense, even from being light years away from him, because Palpatine can do stuff in the Force like there's no tomorrow, you know. And for him just to be like, are your thoughts clear on this? Like, let's be honest here. You want him because you hate him. Like, he just bested you a second time. Like, you want to kill him. That's what the real purpose is. Like, don't bullshit me, in a sense. That's what Palpatine is basically saying to him. And Vader understood the metaphors and was like, I'll back off. You know?
Yeah.
I got you. I will back off, or you're going to end me, you know? And I want to even just point out on the slide is just going for like still Palpatine. I love how it is a mix of Chancellor Palpatine's voice and Emperor Palpatine's voice, because he's got like that. You know, he's got that civil. He's got that civil tone to him, but then he like goes to like the, are you okay, Vader? Like all of that, like that little transfer.
Vader.
Yeah,
it's like because the showing between like I'm going to go, like they are no match. He sounds like they are no match, but he sounds Nymordian.
Yeah, like he basically says, I think how he does it. I really can't do the voice for now, but he goes basically like, "Are your thoughts clear on this?" Like he switched from Palpatine to Emperor.
Well, he swapped from friend to master.
Yeah, basically.
Because if you remember when that conversation started, he's like, "My friend." He referred to Vader as his friend because they are friends.
Yeah, they're old pals.
But then he had to remind Vader that he is subservient to him, and it was, are your emotions clear?
Yeah.
Can you focus?
Mm-hmm.
Which I 100% believe the Grand Inquisitor like reported that Palpatine like, dude, he left like all these rebels to live, and Palpatine was like, this little shit.
But Palpatine would also recognize the threat that having Obi-Wan still alive, even like just not even trying to kill Obi-Wan, just letting him go, the threat that would pose.
Yeah, but also like a fun fact for some reason, Palpatine really thought Obi-Wan was a weakling. Like he really thought like yes, he would definitely think Obi-Wan's a threat because he is a poster boy of the Clone Wars and could rally a force if he wanted to. But like he thought
Cody, he would.
I'm talking about Obi-Wan. Did I say Cody?
No, if he found Kobe, I'm sorry. Yeah. My mouth is moving as I'm thinking something. I did not mean to interrupt. Go on.
But like him, like yeah, I definitely agree with you on Charlie. Like Palpatine understand in a sense, but he knows Vader is not doing this tactically. He knows he's doing it based off emotions, and so in a sense, I also would think that in a sense, yeah, Obi-Wan. If Obi-Wan was going to do that, he could. But in my opinion, like these rebels can lead to Jedi that have ran away from you, have basically just vanished. You can get them all, you know?
Or almost all of them.
Yeah, and it's basically almost all of them. But like, yeah, overall, like if you guys want to add on to that scene, that's how I felt about that scene. I loved that scene entirely because I love Ian McDermott. I love Emperor Palpatine / Palpatine. Love him as a character. I think he's like considered one of the best Star Wars villains, even a GOAT tier villain in my opinion. Like he's definitely like up in the top 10 villains. That's just my like that scene was perfect to the closure of like why Vader just will not chase Obi-Wan anymore.
On the topic of cameos, let's point out a familiar face that has now manifested in a physical, not physical form.
Let's just take the cat out of the bag, you know.
Before we even get
rub the lamp of the Qui-Gon Jinn.
So before we break down that cameo and what all that means, we as a podcast crew, we talked about this the other day. Like how is it possible? Because Qui-Gon's training was incomplete, and he couldn't manifest himself visually. He could talk, but a big TikToker, Star Wars TikToker, Darth Chaco, talked about it and explained it. Just because he is one with the Force now and he has his consciousness doesn't mean he stops learning. He could still learn to manifest a physical form because he was able to retain his consciousness after death. And that that especially when you look at from a certain point of view, the canon book that's a bunch of different short stories, that explains that that's probably how he did it. Like until we get actual confirmation, like they come out and say yes, this is exactly how he did it. These theories are right. It's just going to be a theory about how he did it. But that's the theory that, in my opinion, holds the most water. Not just we're just going to throw him in here, so it's a little fan service. Like I think they actually put some thought behind it and looked at other canon material.
I will say this for anyone who is watching. We are really happy we got to see Qui-Gon. We're not nitpicking it. We're not like hating it or like disliking it. We are really happy we got to see. Like I was like, and then I kind of was like, wait a minute. After that episode, I was like, wait a minute, hold up.
It doesn't break canon, and I'm we're not the books about Star Wars and the television series or movies series between that. The thought process of being is like, oh, if it's written in books, it's not canon, but if it is, it's on TV, it is. That is not a thing anymore. Like I don't think any more Legends books are being written. Again, that don't go along. Never mind.
Don't listen to Dominic.
I'm being stupid because I don't know that much. I don't know much on the Legends lore.
So when Disney purchased Lucasfilm, and they were like, this is what's canon, this is what's not canon. Creating what was the expanding universe, creating into Legends. They more or less was like, hey, the only way Star Wars content is going to be created is if it comes through us. It has to be approved by Disney and approved by Lucasfilm. Yeah. It's not like, oh, hey, I call up Lucasfilm. Hey, I have a book I've been working on for the past 15, 20 years. I want to publish it with your permission. I would have to send it off to Lucasfilm for them to read over it, make sure it doesn't break canon. Then they have to send it off to Disney for Disney to review it to make sure it's something they were like, yes, we think this would be a good addition to the Star Wars canon.
And then real quick, just I want to piggyback off what you said earlier, Charlie, because I agree with that's how Disney runs. That's how they created canon Legends.
That verbiage though, that brings up memories.
Piggyback. I wanted to piggyback off what you said about with like Qui-Gon, as much as like some people who are dead Star Wars fans, like they know the lore like in and out, like they boom boom, like in and out. They know Qui-Gon's training was incomplete as a Force Ghost, and what Charlie said is that it doesn't mean his training is incomplete. Like he can still learn, and in a sense, he was teaching Yoda. He was teaching Yoda how to become a Force Ghost. So they basically Yoda and Qui-Gon could have completed the training of how to become Force Ghost, and then Qui-Gon finally did it. And now he can teach Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan will teach Anakin, and so on and so forth.
Plus, also taken from that same video that Darth Choco made, time doesn't really affect Force Ghost.
The Force.
Doesn't affect the Force at all.
Really does not. Time is endless for them.
Yes.
It's just, I don't care. Like to the haters right now who are, I don't think anyone's really hating on the Kenobi fan. Let's be honest. There's probably someone like
you wanted what you got it. Why are you still complaining?
Yeah, but like I want to say this real quick. I don't care about the lore for a second. I was just fucking happy. Again, sorry for my language, to see Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson. That was
speaking of that. Is Liam Neeson actually came out and stated he doesn't want anyone else to play Qui-Gon Jinn. Anytime there is a Qui-Gon role, he didn't say this, but it's implied from his statement that he doesn't want anyone else to play Qui-Gon. That anytime there's a Qui-Gon role, he will return to play Qui-Gon. Because he came back to do Qui-Gon in the Clone Wars. He came back for Obi-Wan. He was saying that he wasn't going to come back because it was a TV show instead of a movie. But this man is like the master of deception.
This is he. Do not lose. I was there when it was written.
Yeah,
I can't
like,
remember the first line.
well, like, hey, I want to say this real quick, and I don't know how you guys feel about this now. We got Liam Neeson back. Where's Samuel Jackson?
We're going on the assumption that Mace Windu is dead.
I
So-
want to go on the assumption that
However,
man
that can change.
So, while the novelization for Revenge of the Sith is considered Legends, it is not canon. If we look at the passage from their Palpatine and Vader and Mace Windu's fights,
Great dialogue scene, by the way.
the actual wordage is it's saying that when he was hit with the Force lightning, it rocked his universe. So everyone's like, "Oh, we've seen Jedi fall from obscene heights and survive." They were conscious, they were focused, they knew exactly what was going on. You just got your shit rocked by the most powerful Sith Lord to ever exist at the time. You're not gonna be conscious or focused. Could he still have survived? Possibly. He might have fallen into a passing by speeder and just been knocked unconscious.
And also,
is that likely? Probably not. I'm going off the assumption that he's dead.
Yes.
But if he comes back, as long as there's a good explanation for it, I will not complain one bit. But if it's just like some fan service stuff thrown in, I might have a bit of a problem. But it's ultimately out of my control if it becomes canon or not that he lived.
Here's my reason why. I am biased. Okay, I will cold-heartedly admit I am biased. I love Mace Windu as a character. I think he is. Just love him. Okay, I love him. Samuel Jackson basically created an entire purple lightsaber lore. Okay,
he did.
He did. Okay, I just love Mace Windu. Like he is, like he basically created the gray Jedi, the purple lightsabers, the light and dark. Like, okay, anyone can argue he created it. He said, "I want a purple lightsaber," and everything got just basically written down and made.
He got it because he's that motherfucker.
Yeah. He is. But like, here's the deal. I think I agree with you, Charlie. I actually do agree with you. I as much as I would want him to be alive, I can still accept the fact that he is dead because he got hit by one Force lightning, by technically considered the most powerful Force lightning besides red Force lightning, which is done by the sun. Blue, pure white Force lightning is the most powerful one that kind of exists. And that's Palpatine's Force lightning. It's blue, white, and pure. And he gets hit by that, but he also loses his hand. So he's in agony at first, and then gets his universe rocked by lightning, and gets thrown out a window by the Force lightning. You know, well, technically by a Force push. I think in the book they kind of say it was a mix of like Palpatine like Force pushing him out with like the lightning, and him just hurling out the window. Now, here's, in my opinion, he would definitely be unconscious, most likely, or somewhat in and out of like that phase, like, oh my god, as he's falling. But it could be very likely, and it's a 1 in a million chance type deal as well, that he could have actually fallen into a speeder that came just perfect timing. It's coincidence, like it is. It technically is coincidence. But if they could make that work, that is one of the reasons how he could have survived. Or if he was somewhat conscious and was able to basically every once in a while slow himself down, and finally get to the city floor and just basically kind of lay there. Now, there's one problem he has to deal with is Order 66.
Yep.
That's true, yeah.
But, and this goes into a little bit of interesting lore. This is canon lore, by the way. This isn't Legends lore that I'm about to talk about. Could Mace Windu have just blended into a crowd and just so happened to have a lightsaber? Yes, because the clones at the time knew who all the Jedi were, or a good majority of the Jedi were, so they knew who to kill. But if you just see some random dude walking around with a lightsaber, you're like, oh, there's a purge going on or whatever. There's a way he could have gotten away with it, except for he kind of shot himself in the foot when it came to his lightsaber. He originally created his lightsaber, but after he got promoted to the High Council, he reconstructed his lightsaber to be more flashy and flamboyant to show his new position.
That I did not know.
That is canon. Yeah, it's in one of the comics.
His lightsaber is actually like highly fucking known in the Star Wars universe. Like actually, most like the clone troopers knew it. So the gold, I forget what it's called right now. Maybe Charlie can help me out on that part because I'm forgetting the medal. But there's basically a certain gold medal in a sense that you can put on your lightsaber once you achieve the rank of master and you're on the council. This was only given to certain select members, and Mace Windu was one of them. And he like he said, he reconstructed it and put that all on, make his lightsaber flashy and cool and all that.
Even Mace Windu wanted to show off that he was that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's Samuel. That's basically literally Mace Windu was Samuel Jackson. Like there is no denying.
It's a self-insert, and I love it.
It is, but like here's also the thing that also becomes a problem of it's Order 66. If Mace Windu, his conscience somehow gets to the bottom, kind of is like, oh fuck, he's wanting to go to the Jedi Temple. He's gonna be like with his hand gone, like guys, we kind of like we're screwed. But like when he gets there, the clones are already there. The 501st Legion is there, murdering a bunch of people, along with Anakin. Like, yeah, he could hear that, see that, and try to run out of there. Unlikely though. But the more likely option for him to surviving both the lightsaber hit and then the purge is if he fell into a random speeder, and the speeder guy was like, "What the hell?"
He could just be knocked out through that entire period. We don't even know.
He could be like knocked out, unconscious. Let's say he survived. He's unconscious. He's being healed by someone. Like if someone found him, healed him back. He could be found by someone. He could be unconscious. The clones wouldn't know that. Palpatine and both Anakin assumed he was dead after that.
But again, this is just a giant what-if theory.
Yeah.
As of right now, as in canon right now, Mace Windu is dead. 100% dead. They might come out at some point and elaborate that, oh, he survived, and give us an explanation of how. But until we get that canon, he's dead.
I want to say this real quick. We thought Maul was dead, and then look where he came from. Okay.
Again, they gave an explanation.
They did give an explanation.
So,
which one's more far-fetched? A man getting sliced in half and coming back, or a man loses his hand and got hit by some lightning and coming back?
It was like he was literally being electrocuted and shot out a window.
This is all very true. But a man was cut in half here. There ain't no body. That doesn't mean he's dead.
He can't pee.
Revenge. To quote the Grand Inquisitor, revenge does wonders for the will to live.
Don't you think?
And
revenge does wonders for the will to live. Don't you?
I don't know how you just look like.
I look like Dr. Evil.
Yeah,
Austin Powers doing that.
Yeah. Well, also going back off that, he was attuned. He knew the dark side of the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like this, the mighty could have fallen.
Well, I think it's time for us to start wrapping up here. So let's just give our closing thoughts, and we'll go from there.
Dom, you go first.
I am very happy of what is being of Star Wars content so far. I am very excited to see what is going to happen in the upcoming years. It's going to be awesome. There's still a lot more, like we've said before. Our what if theories are just theories. We don't know. We already knew he's dead, but it can happen and it can be explained. Like a lot more. Same thing with what could be explained with Ahsoka coming with the Ahsoka series, that she's looking for Admiral Thrawn and Ezra Bridger. We're gonna get an explanation on that soon enough, on where they are and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy that it's going on, and I'm happy to show my dad the fact that this series, that Star Wars as a franchise has been going on for this long, and still having an impact on the world.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done, Dom? I want to make sure you're done before I go.
More or less, yes. You can go on. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I want to say this, okay? From what I've gotten, Kenobi, and I just want to say this real. Everybody can blame, everybody hated Disney for what they gave us when it came to the sequels, everything, But now I think we all can agree thank you, Disney, for what we have gotten today. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have, most likely, we wouldn't have gotten the show, you know? Like, there's a high opportunity that this show could never been made without Disney. And I have to just thank Disney for just this show and the upcoming shows we are getting after this, because I am just happy to look at Star Wars and see there is now so much more being built around this lovely, lovely franchise, and just basically built around this one storyline. Because even though this is just this one storyline, there are so many things going on in just this one drawn out storyline. And I think this show represented, like, this Kenobi represented what the storyline was.
It's bringing back a familiarity to the beginning, leading up to what was the beginning.
To what was, and it's just, this was great. And I know some people didn't like the Kenobi series at first, but I think we can all agree this show was amazing and good. The finale was amazing, and as many people like to say, peak Star Wars.
It's a perfect ending for the series. And that's what it is, a limited series.
And like I've said, it right now is just a great time to be a Star Wars fan, because we are getting so much new Star Wars content that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Because not a lot of people know this, from what I've seen. The reason George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney was not because of the money. He was tired of getting all the hate for the prequels, so he stopped making movies. He stopped making Star Wars, but Disney approached him and said, hey, we want to buy it. We want to breathe life into this. And now look at everything we've gotten. We finished out the Clone Wars. We got Rebels. We got Resistance. We've gotten Rogue One, Solo, the sequel trilogy. We have Obi-Wan. We have all this new content that's coming out, and it's just an amazing time to be a Star Wars fan. And I can't wait to see what the future holds.
I can't wait to talk about it on this podcast. Sorry.
Tune in to Sindari Broadcast.
So preface for next week's episode, it will be probably a little bit of chaos, because while we have so much Star Wars content coming out here soon, there are lulls in the content. Like, we have, was it like 2-3 weeks until Andor comes out?
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 weeks.
I'll come back at that time.
So we're our episodes for like the next 2 or 3 weeks.
We're not 2 or 3 weeks away from that. We're like another month from that.
Well, same difference.
I won't miss it.
We've got some time. So we will still be having weekly episodes. We'll still be covering Star Wars content. But this is where we, as the crew, we want your feedback. We want you to comment on this video, reach out to our Instagram, give us ideas for stuff to talk about, stuff you want us to talk about. If you want a full-length podcast episode where we talk about lore of a specific topic, we'll do it. If you want us to go over some of the books that have come out, the comics, whatever, we'll do it. We just need to know what you guys want. This is why we want engagement from you guys. We're still small time. We don't get a lot of views, but the more engagement we get from you guys helps us kind of point the podcast in the right direction for what you as the audience want to see from us.
And we're enjoying this. We're like, this is, it's fun to talk about. Like, it just sit down, have literally a time to just talk about, give reason, see what we have and what theories and what we could think it could happen.
When I set out to make this podcast, there are tons of other Star Wars podcasts out there.
Yeah, there's.
My goal before I brought Dom, Shane, Jordan, Luke, them into the fold of this podcast is I wanted to create a non-biased Star Wars podcast by fans for fans. And that sounds like, it probably sounds like a commercial or whatever, but it's honest to God, like, that's what I wanted is just a place where Star Wars fans can come together and we can talk Star Wars without someone being like, oh, well, this is this is wrong. Like, leave your bias at the door. We're talking Star Wars here. Just Star Wars, not bias.
We can be wrong. We've been wrong about a lot of Star Wars fans have been wrong about a lot of things in canon that have now been proven. Like it's just what we know of at that moment.
We're just enjoying being the fans of the franchise we love. And again, thank you, Disney, for our job now.
And like this is the last thing before we close out and all that. But a lot of people see it. The Star Wars fan base is very, very toxic. Like, you have, like I said, the bias, people going after actors for portraying a character, all this other stuff. And we're small time, but we're working to make the Star Wars community a better place. Like, trying to get rid of that toxicity the best we can. And that's just having people talk. Like, we're going to have people on here that might have opposing viewpoints to us of like the lore, how they interpret the lore. And that's okay, because Star Wars is for everybody. But that's the point of us talking every week, is to just get everyone's feelings out there and show that we're not toxic as people who are led to believe, that we can be a very understanding community. I'm in the works to get some guest stars on here, maybe during this lull period between content releases from Disney. I can get us some guest stars on here. But to quote this guy on TikTok, he's another Star Wars content creator. Be better, nerds. Like, let's just be better. And with that, we're gonna close out, plug our social medias and all of that, and we'll catch you next week right here on the Sundari Broadcast System, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
4 p.m. Western Standard Time, guys.
All right, Shane, go for
it. Once again, my tags are at King Faye Official on TikTok. I do a lot of edits. I get bad about posting sometimes, but still, I do my edits. If not that, I am really super active on Discord. I run my own Discord server. These two can protest. They're in it.
I'm still mad at you for that one thing that you. I know we edited and fixed it, but still, what the fuck?
What?
Go on.
All right.
Never mind. That can be talked later. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that. But yes, I do my own edits. I do all of that. If you, I'm trying to post regularly. It's just I'm trying to focus on my Discord stuff. But still, my thing is at King Faye Official on TikTok. It has links to my Instagram and my Discord if you want to join. But for you guys watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you.
Dom?
You can find me at dshine12 on TikTok, Discord. I now know my Discord numbers. Freaking dshine12 hashtag 8296. And I also it's also dshine12 on Instagram. My Twitch again is at dshine15. We're going to be probably streaming more, maybe in late July or something. I do actually want to say for a second, for these next next upcoming 3 streams, I will not be here. I am going down to my state's governor's school for the arts, and that'll take a 3-week period. Screw you, Shane. I saw that. Yeah. So I'm just letting you know probably why I'm not going to be here, but I will try my best to come by, watch the stream when I can.
Dom, we wish you the best with that. Have fun. Good luck. Whatever. We're just sending all everything, all the positive stuff towards you for that. You can find me at CarolinaBoy232 on Instagram and TikTok. Speaking of Discord, I am working on getting a Sundari Broadcast System Discord going so we can have more like one-on-one conversations with you, the viewers, the fans.
We would love to hear what you have to say.
Like we can have community nights where it's not a night where we have a podcast scheduled, but we can hop in to the Discord chat and just talk with y'all, maybe throw around some ideas, talk to you guys if you guys want to come on. Like you don't have to be a big Star Wars content creator or anything like that to be on here. We saw that with Dom's dad when he was on here.
Yeah, I literally, yep. We're just a podcast. We're literally working our way up. We can just we're not going by any rules other than just generic, like this. You know what I mean? You can say it better than I can right now, and that's not the time right now.
All right, well, that does it for us today. Again, we'll be right back here next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, may the Force be with you and have a great night.
May the Force be with you.
I can't wait.